Hi guys, it's me, Trudy Lee. How's everybody doing? It feels more like fall today than spring. We've got a cold front coming in here and it cooled everything off. It was in the low 40s last night and it was chilly when I got up. I didn't even want to get out of the bed. It was so cold. And I have a really thin blanket on my bed right now. I had to use the wool blanket at the foot. My husband was like, "This blanket is like paper thin." Oh my gosh, it was cold. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I do a lot of chit chatting, so hopefully this is something you like to watch. So just hold on. I will get to some information from Spirit soon. But praise the Lord, Chauvin has been found guilty on all three counts. I am so happy about that. Things are finally changing, for the better in our justice system, but we need to keep the momentum going. There's a lot more change ahead, and we need to keep going, keep giving your support. It's needed. Okay. So last night, I was going to do a reading on Maxine Walters and Matthew McConaughey because there's some rumblings that he might be running for governor here in Texas, which would be a welcome change from Abbott for sure. But I'm not really sure if he's a Democrat or a Republican. But I really wanted to do a reading and see where he stands on all that because sometimes it's not really true. And I started doing a reading and all of a sudden, I don't know, I lost my train of thought or something. And I was like 10 minutes in and I was like, hell with it. So I stopped the reading and I started over. And I was way deep into it. I was way past 20 minutes into the reading. I had read Maxine Walters, Matthew, everything. And my camera went off and I lost everything. And I was just like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? What does Spirit want me to do? So, I got the message loud and clear that that wasn't what I should be doing. So I just said, forget it. I'm not going to do it. And, it was my time that I had when my husband was gone to the gym. So this was time for me to be working and doing what I need to do. But I mean, I got nothing done, y'all. Nothing. I had nothing to show for my husband. I did fold a load of laundry. Woohoo. So I did get that done. But I'll give you the gist, the gist on what I got from the reading. On Maxine Walters, just to let you guys know that no one will scare her off. That's basically what I got. Nobody can scare her off. She will never leave until she's good and ready. She's a fierce contender. She's 82 years old. She still is energetic, loyal, and dependable. And there's so much frustration left behind from 4 years of Trump. And, and now that Biden's in office and, the House has the majority and all, she's just very feisty and just wants to make sure that she sees this all through, that she does everything that she can to encourage others and, to fight against racism and inequality. So that's what I got out of that. Okay, so I know they tried to sanction her and that didn't, they weren't able to do that. They didn't have enough votes to do that. So that's good. And I don't see any other thing happening to her. She's feisty. She really is. I think they're going to leave her alone because they know she has a lot of support and she's 82 years old, so they're going to leave her alone. As far as Matthew McConaughey, he could easily be elected. That's what I got from the reading. People would vote for him in a heartbeat here in Texas. People love him. Do you know he teaches class at UT? And my granddaughter said that his class fills up like that. Very hard to get into his class. But from the reading that I got, he hasn't made that decision himself. He's still on the fence. He's still not sure about if that's really where he wants his, life to go in that direction. So he hasn't made that decision. So, who are we to say if he's going to run? He could get elected. I saw that clearly he could get elected, but I don't know if he's really going to do it. I don't think he's all in yet. Okay, so back to what all has happened and taken place surrounding um, George Floyd. And this is what has come through from my guides. Okay, so this isn't from me. This is from my guides. This is what I got a download. This morning I was just like, okay, so what am I supposed to read on? What do you want me to say? And this is it. So this has all happened and transpired to bring out change, to bring awareness of other people, whether they're brown, black, a husband, a wife, a daughter, a son. You know, we're being called to look beyond skin color or relationships. Too often people are put in a little peg, you know, like, oh, that's my mom. She's cray cray. Your expectation is very low. And I'm sorry, I'm at fault at that myself. And it's hard to see, your mom as a whole person with desires, goals, a lover, a friend. But when we try to change our perspective and see people for their potential, look for the humanity in them, see them in a more abstract way, of more than, more than a person of color, more than a father, more than a mother, more than a preacher, more than the mechanic that fixes your car. We get stuck on labels, and that doesn't sufficiently describe who a person is. For example, a person that maybe you didn't like, or were indifferent to, something like that, or you have a troubled relationship with, they're loved by someone, they're cared for by someone. That someone has a mother, a father, they have hopes and dreams. And if you can tap into someone's hopes and dreams and their goals, you can make a connection with them. So let's all pay attention to those that we would normally ignore, or those that we feel maybe we don't really want to get to know. Let's try to get to know them and their interest. We are more the same than we are different. So as you get to know people, you'll understand that. There's differences in style, personality, ego, but our hearts are in lockstep. So send out love to those that in the past you may have hesitated to speak to, or you're afraid to get to know. The beauty in life is we are all, different and interesting. We're all connected, and what affects you and what will ultimately affect others. We're all in a chain. So what affects me will affect you. What affects you will affect me. We're all connected. And the death of George Floyd has brought to light in a profound way uh, that we all must stand together, united in equality for all. So, no matter what the circumstances are or the color of someone's skin, we all are made in the likeness of our Creator. Let no man divide us. Okay? All right, so now for some more personal news. Remember my cousin, her husband Warren was in the hospital with COVID, and he was put on a ventilator, and he's finally been moved to a rehab facility. So he's been in there for a long time, but he's hanging in there. He's doing better. He still has a way to go, but thank you so much for your prayers. Please continue praying for their family. That's Warren and Linda. Linda still has some symptoms from COVID, but she's doing well also. And they're very hopeful that they'll all be reunited as a family soon. Uh, all right. So yesterday when I got up to do all my readings, this is funny. Just a little story here with my kitty cat. My door's open. Maybe she'll come and say hello. I don't know. She's getting really big. But yesterday when I got up on my computer, I was going to start my readings, and I went to open up my email to see what I needed to do, and I had no internet connection. And I was like, what's wrong? I have no internet connection, but my phone's connected. And then I went to my husband's computer. He has a laptop in the other room. His laptop was connected. I figured out what was wrong. Took a few minutes, but not too long. My computer was on airplane mode. How does that happen? I didn't, and I was telling my husband, I didn't put it on airplane mode. And he pointed to the kitty because I leave my laptop open all the time and she walks across my keyboard constantly. I'm like, oh yes, that's what happened. She put it on airplane mode. So thank you, little kitty cat. Anyway, that's funny. She's a hoot. I love her so much. She's always doing funny things every single day. Dog got mad at her yesterday. My daughter brought home a big old bag of dog food, and he knows it's his dog food. And she set it down, like a 50-pound bag of dog food. She set it down. And so the cat went to go sniff it because, kitties, what the heck is this? I got to go figure it out. Oh man, he got after her. He started barking at her real mean, and it scared her. And since then, he's been barking at her. I don't know what the deal is. Now, every time he looks at her, she comes close to him, he barks at her. I've been scolding him and giving him a little smack, on the back of his neck, just like stop that, not hard or anything, just to tell him I don't like that, don't do that. And he's done it like 3 times now, so we're getting kind of nervous about it because he's 125 pounds and she's just a little tiny kitty. I don't know. I hope it stops. I don't know what's going on here. He's never been aggressive with the other dog with his food. She can eat out of his bowl while he's eating and he won't do anything. So I don't know. I don't know what that is. Anyway, got any suggestions? Um, all right. Next thing, let's see. Oh, it's been snowing. That's what it is. It's been snowing. My friend from Kansas City, she sent me a video of all the snow. Oh my gosh. You guys, I feel for you. I mean, it's not just in Kansas City. It's I think in Michigan, Missouri, Kansas, all those states up there, they're getting snow this late in the spring, getting snow. That's crazy. I feel for you. I do not want any snow to come here. I'm done with snow. I never want to see snow again unless I go travel to see it, but stay away from our neck of the woods here. I do not like it. I've decided anyway. So um, it's about 50. Is it? I think it's about 50 degrees right now. It was in the 40s when I got up, but I think it's about 50. But the wind is blowing like crazy. So that cold front did come here, but thankfully it's not quite as cold as you guys. I think in Kansas City it was 28 degrees. So that's way too cold. The leaves on my tree out here on the deck, I can see out on the deck through the window here. There's still no leaves, still no sign of life. There is sign of life. I have to say, I can see on the trunk there is some green coming through. So I know that they're going to recover, but it's a really long process. And of course, I won't have any, um, fruit on the tree this year. I don't think I'll have any figs or any pomegranates or anything like that, but they're going to recover. It's just not till next year, probably. Anyway, I have a funny story about my husband too. Since I'm talking about stories, this happened night before last. He wasn't home last night, so it was night before last. It was funny. We're sitting there, and we're watching the kitty, and a moth got inside the house, and the kitty saw it. And Addie Cat was going after this moth, and she was so cool looking. I know you guys that have cats, you've seen it. They get into like a robotic jerky movements. It is so cool to watch her go after something, she can catch it. She jerks. So weird looking. I should film it. It's really cool. But anyway, my husband said, she's going after a mouth. And I'm like, what? He said, she's going after a mouth. And I'm like, what's a mouth? A mouse? She's going after a mouse? And he said, no, a mouth. That thing that flies by the light, the mouth. And I'm like, really? A moth? You mean a moth? Oh, you won't even know what he says to me because he's funny. He'll just call me a dirty name because he thinks he's being funny, which I laugh at. He's hilarious all the time. I don't know how he comes up with these things. I know he knows how to say moth. Why did he say mouth? He's unsure, especially when I go, what did you say? Then he knows he said it wrong. And he knows I'm about to make fun of him, but he's so used to it and he's such a good sport about it. Let me tell you guys, if if you're in a crisis, you want him. He is so good in a crisis. He's very calm, uh, stoic. And I have a moth story that reminded me. I don't know if I've ever told this to you guys before. I may have, and pardon me if I'm telling you again. But my daughter used to live right next door to us. She moved away about 5 years ago. But when the kids were really little, she lived there, which was beautiful for me because I had my little grandkids every day at my house. But she was outside sweeping her deck one evening and she had her hair pinned up. And guess what happened? Yeah, a moth flew inside her ear. Was a moth got in her ear, and she went inside and she started screaming and freaking out because it was like flapping its wings and buzzing and making sounds, and it was right in her ear, and it was just she was screaming bloody murder, and she was slapping herself on the side of the head, and she had a dish towel that she'd grabbed from the kitchen and she was hitting herself with it and screaming. And her husband called us and said, "Get over here right now. Something's wrong with Amber. We need your help." Because he didn't really know what to do or what was really wrong, you know? And the kids were freaking out. They were little bitty bitty. They were probably not more than, 5 or 6 years old at the time, maybe even younger. They were sitting on the window ledge when I came in the back door and they were crying, sitting on the window ledge. And my husband went running to my daughter and I took care of the children and stayed with the children. I'm not that great in a crisis, you know. So he knew there was a moth in her ear. And she was screaming. And when the moth would be still, she could talk. She told him, "A moth flew in my ear. There's a moth in my ear." And he's like, "Okay, well, we're going to get it out." And he poured olive oil in her ear, but he had to literally get on top of her and hold her down and put that oil in her ear because the when he was doing that, the moth started moving around and she started freaking out again. Every time the moth would move, she would just start screaming. It was terrible. It was scary. But he got on top of her and uh, he put the oil in her ear and try to suffocate the moth, and then he sucked the moth out of her ear. Now that's a real daddy. That's a real daddy that will do that for you in a crisis. Let me tell you. He got that moth out of her ear, that's for sure. So he's the kind of guy that he's a hero. If you need help, he'll help you. So that's my story for today. So if you guys would like to contact me, look down below. There's my email if you'd like to do a reading. I'm also doing a lot of healing sessions for people. I don't charge for that. If you'd like to make a donation, you can, but it's not necessary. You don't have to. Uh, Healing sessions, I do take my time with them and try to, provide the best I can for you. So just know that if you need healing, you can't ask me on YouTube. You have to email me because I'll keep the emails in a certain section where I can go through them and make sure that I'm doing the healing session because I get too many comments and I can't always keep up with them. So if you'd like a healing, please email me. Also, if you'd like a reading, email me. And people ask, how much do I charge for my reading? Is $30. So, and the reading is recorded. So what I do is get your questions and concerns and address them, and then I do the reading. And it's an interesting reading. But before I do the reading, usually Spirit has something to say. I try to connect with you, and Spirit will have something to say, and then I'll go forward in the reading. And you get an angel card and all that. So it takes about 20, 25 minutes for a reading, just depending on how much information flows through. But I do record it. You're able to watch it as many times as you like. And sometimes when you have a reading, things don't make complete sense until, some time has passed and you can go back and look at that reading and go, "Oh, now I understand that." Or Spirit may say something and you don't understand what Spirit's talking about until later on you kind of put it together. And instead of thinking, "Well, what did she say?" you can go, "Let me go look and see what she said." So you can watch it again. So many times as you like. I don't take it down. I think maybe YouTube takes them down after some time, but it probably takes a couple of years for it to, come down. So what else? if you would like to do a portal closing. So some people, have spirits in their home that are unwelcomed, and you need a portal closing, and that portal closing will include yourself, around you, and your entire home, and anybody else that's living in your home that you'd like to include with that. Okay, so just know that. I also have rose quartz and amethyst pendulums still available. I am sold out of the clear quartz. And now remember, they come with a 24-inch chain and a little leather pouch. Okay. So if you need one of those or anything, just email me. So I still have those in stock. Okay. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but my husband's out there working on the deck again, and you hear his drill. So I'm going to wrap this up because his drilling has started and he's going to interfere with my readings. So everyone stay safe, get vaccinated, love your neighbors, and do something kind. It'll always come back to you. Y'all take care. Bye for now.